Welcome everybody to Command Combat Computer Reports. Today we have Britain versus Austria on this hill where it appears the British have the high ground, so they might have a bit of an advantage here. But let's take a look at the forces, shall we? On the right side we have Austria with Carabiniers on their left flank, Uhlans between them and the infantry, and then you got line infantry all along here backed up by guards, so you got the regular infantry with the heavies behind them, general's bodyguard, 24-pounder artillery with Jaegers in front of them, and some horse artillery over here on their right flank, and Carabiniers way over on their far right flank. Alright, so that is the Austrian force. Let's take a look over here at the British. The British we have on their far left, our right now, lifeguards and regiments of horse. So a couple of cavalry on the side. They've got here, hold on. Light infantry over there behind that hill. 6-pounder horse artillery with 24-pounder artillery right there. Now some line infantry just all along here. Line infantry. It's a very stuck, slow-moving camera. Line infantry, grenadiers, general's bodyguard. So you basically have their heavy infantry in with their regular infantry. 24-pounder horse, 6-pounder light infantry. Oh, I see what it is. Okay, so it's really more of what their setup is cavalry on the end, with light infantry, then long line of regular infantry with guards and grenadiers sprinkled in there, and some artillery. Then you got light infantry again, and then the cavalry again on the flanks. So that is basically their setup versus the Austrian one, which is basically artillery right in the middle, or I'm sorry, artillery more on their right, with their line with actually skirmishers in front of them, then the line directly to the left with the good regular ones in front and the really good ones in the back, and cavalry on their left flank with cavalry and horse artillery on their other flank. So we're gonna have to see what they sort of have in mind with that. It's gonna be interesting to see how these two setups go at each other. So let's see in the initial movement here. It looks like the British are going just straight on the whole thing, except they're sending this cavalry around this long hill here. See if the Austrians do anything about that. Well, they're sending one. Oh no, they actually aren't doing anything. Everybody's just sort of sitting still. So basically, the Austrians are going to play this defensively. It looks like. It looks like it might be a little bit of a split-up battle with the British over here on this side of this hill. Or are they going to swing around at the Austrian flank? We'll have to see. The Austrians have also sent over. They're starting to throw their artillery over there. It looks like they're shooting a little long. They're not quite. Okay, they got one hit, but most of their shots, it seems like they're shooting over the lines there. And now the Austrian cavalry. Oh, actually, it's their horse artillery is moving up into position, unsupported it seems. So they're kind of way out there on their own. Got your cavalry somewhat close. Maybe it could actually be diversion. Oh, that artillery just barely missing them. Wow. Now, yeah, sometimes what they'll do is they will put something up there as bait, and then they'll have their attack nearby. But this is not that strong of an attack. It's Carabiniers, and it looks like they were just kind of forgotten. And now the British cavalry is going to come in and try to take those guns. They are sort of up there without a lot of support. And Carabiniers are not going to have a lot to stop them. Now, the artillery is shooting some of its grape shot up there, and the cavalry looks like British cavalry's kind of moving away. Are they going to move out of there, or are they just going to swing around? We're going to have to see what they do. And now the British artillery, that infamous British artillery, is coming down, and wow, they are really pounding them. And the Austrians are bringing some more of their cavalry over here to sort of help support. I think they see the British threatening their horse artillery, so they're going to send something else over there to sort of help with some Uhlans, help the Carabiniers. So might be close to an even fight, especially if the artillery can be brought in there. And it looks like there's a real artillery duel happening there in the main line, but I've just been staying here because this has been kind of fascinating. The fact that the Austrian players sent forward that artillery without much support. And now we can see if the Uhlans, is this going to pay off? The Uhlans are going into contact with the British, what is this? Life Guards. Oh, so that is heavy cav versus heavy cav, although the Uhlans really are more of an initial strike force. So they had a really strong strike, but now once it gets into regular combat, they're not going to do as well typically. So I would look for the, the British took an initial hit, but now since they survived that hit, I would be watching for the British to win this particular fight. Although the Carbineers are over there, sort of trying to send in some lead, even out. And oh boy, there comes the British cavalry swinging around the side. I think this is more regiment of horse. Okay. Oh, and they're being hit by more Uhlans. Oh, so man, everything's going into this flank. Here, let's go ahead and pause this for a moment and see what the Austrians even have over on this flank. Looks like they've just been leaving this cavalry over here and just feeding it over to the other place. And why not? Because the British started moving over here, but have not really followed up with much. So they really have not made a very strong showing on that flank. Meanwhile, the Austrian infantry has been able to, unmolested, just move right up there in one very strong force. Have that line there. Now the British, of course, have a much longer line, but it's not really doing a lot of good because the lighter line is just being overmatched by all of this infantry and these rifles over here. While meanwhile, this British infantry is just really not particularly useful. You got the light infantry in the back there. It looks like they were more interested in guarding against cavalry, which is just not even going to come. I mean, because you can see the spikes are here. And set up to stop any cavalry from coming, but the cavalry really aren't there. So it's really, they sacrificed being in the battle for setting up a preparation for an attack that is just not coming. Let's see how this fight is taking place here. And it looks like, yeah, you can see the Austrians are really getting in some good volleys, while the British are, they just don't have enough to, come back with much. And look at that. Look at that long line of really strong showing of smoke and lead, while the oh man, look at that, just huge volleys going through there. Now the British just have no choice; they're just going to go in and they're going to charge. Oh no, they aren't. They're going to slowly coming forward, one bit by bit. Meanwhile, let's look back there at the cavalry fight that's going on. Looks like the British have shown the better. They've taken, like I said, the Uhlans are strong in their initial strike, but then they're not necessarily very long lasting. The light cavalry is coming in, the Carbineers are coming in, and they're pushing the British away. I'm not really sure why, because they really do have the strength here right now. They're, now here come the British infantry right into those horse artillery. So that horse artillery is doomed. There really was not, they didn't have much of a chance there, even with all the cavalry guarding against them. So now the British have won this part of the field. And in fact, they're starting to hit even what Austrians are here. The Austrians are scaring one line infantry. There's plenty more to come. So they are really taking the Austrian right flank by storm, British left flank. But the Austrian left flank is just incredibly strong. I mean, that is just a wall there. Now the British have come in. Looks like they've come in with their cavalry and disturb the Austrian left flank, so that is getting hurt. But you do have the guards now forming up. The Austrian guards have now taken form and are firing back. Meanwhile, the artillery is just sitting there waiting to be taken over by that British cavalry. But it looks like the British are really wanting to get rid of the Austrian cavalry first, or at least their cavalry are going to clear the Austrian cavalry first. And wow, a couple of grape shot or canister shots right in their faces were just ineffective. And now the British are just going to come in and take out that really close-range artillery shots there. I'm rather surprised about that. I'm not sure why that happened. But anyway, they're slowly moving in there now, bringing in some more Uhlans. They probably needed to be there in more force earlier. But you can see this Austrian wall is just holding. Now, you do have one part that's starting to fold, but for the most part, that wall is really solid and holding against the British coming in there. You've just got them in all forms. So if the Austrians can hold there, they might have a fighting chance. But they are losing their artillery here bit by bit, slower than they really should. fact, the British were slow enough that the Uhlans were able to mount a counterattack there. You can see that they are now breaking apart that British infantry there. So this is still anybody's game. We've gone from parts where we thought the British were definitely not going to be able to do very much to the Austrians were getting really badly smacked. Now it seems to be kind of even. The British have done very well. Let's pause it again. The British have done very well on this part of the field. In fact, let's go up above here to take a look. Alright, so on the right flank, the British have done very well. They have just completely mopped up any resistance there, but they've been slow to go after the artillery here, and in fact the General's bodyguard is right there, so they could really be mopping them up pretty well. Now the Austrians did very well with their wall, but you can see the British now have broken through, and now the Austrians are bringing in forward their guards to mop it, to plug it up. So they're sending in their reserves. However, the British really have I guess they have some reserves back there. They have got light infantry. Light infantry there. General's bodyguard. Oh, General's bodyguards are going right into some artillery. But it's looking better for the British than it is for the Austrians at this point, because they still have their artillery. I think they still have some cavalry. Oh, horse artillery, okay. But they are, the one thing the Austrians really had was this wall, and now the British are breaking through there, and they're slowly but surely getting rid of that artillery, which is just kind of ineffective anyway. So you may be watching the British taking this one away, but it's still anybody's game. And now there's, the British, the Uhlans did their job and are scaring away the British infantry over there. However, the British do have more infantry and some cavalry if they will use it. Now, it might be the players just so distracted with so many things they're not able to, do everything. But now, this is probably where they're putting their attention, which is rightfully so. Now they have this infantry coming in to the back of this Austrian infantry, and man, it's a lot of redcoats standing around, a lot of guys in gray, white type things. I think they might, they're coming in from, all different directions. Those Austrians are probably going to be taken out unless these guards can come to their rescue. It doesn't look like the guards are doing much. In fact, it says firing, but it doesn't look like they're doing much firing. Okay, you're seeing a little bit of sporadic firing. And now over here on the left, they've managed to push away those British grenadiers, so they're actually holding. Okay, now it looks like their guards are finally starting to fire. But it's a little bit late for for rescuing those Austrians that are there that have been surrounded. Austrians, meanwhile, over here, the Uhlans have managed to break apart that infantry over there. Oh, but now they are losing their morale and they're getting ready to go. Well, meanwhile, now you have the General Bodyguard going over trying to do something. They're so desperate that the General's Bodyguard has to come along to try to do something. And looks like they were going after the regiment of horse over there, but now they're getting cut off by some infantry. Yeah, and now that infantry is there to probably knock apart the leadership, which will hurt the morale. Oh, here we go. They are firing right into their face. It's funny because the British just are giving them every opportunity to do something, and the Austrians are not doing a very good job with what time they're being given. So neither side is doing it particularly well over here, but the British are getting the best of it. Over here, the Austrian line still holds, however, it is getting shaky. It continues to be shaky, and the British are going at it kind of piecemeal. In fact, they've just lost a piece of the wall, but the British don't really have a heck of a lot there. You can see they are a veteran here. Look at that little squiggly line there, and they're up against mostly Austrian, what do you call it? Just normal recruits. But they are normal recruits trying to save themselves, and you have these guards over here who seem to be largely ignoring them. And now they're going to go into square, but what you really need, the Austrians really need this line infantry to go into square to guard against that cavalry that has just now come in, and now they're going to form square, but it's a little bit too late, so they're just going to have to fight them off if they're even going to be able to do that. Oh, now they've gone into forming a square. Not going to do a lot. The British have this infantry that's now going to try to move around their side. The British, with what they have left there, it looks like the Austrians now are just forming square wherever they are. Wherever they just happen to be, it's like, just form a square. Just, wherever they are, just form a square. Alright, and then you have the General's Bodyguard are fighting some infantry. I don't think they're their leader's going to survive for very long. Although, is that General's bodyguard? That's probably the General's... Well, there's the General's bodyguard. Are these Uhlans? Oh, that's the howitzer. That's the howitzer crew is fighting. Okay, well, all they can do is survive as long as they can. The General's bodyguard is going to run up here and try to get in among his men as best he can. You just have squares all over the place. Basically, you know, last stand type of situation. Austrians did kind of well in terms of setting stuff up, but man, it's just the right flank just did not. They just didn't have enough there to guard against a solid British attack, and they didn't even attack that solidly. But you know, they just did well. Now here comes the Austrian commander is going to just charge this small amount of infantry. Oh, and they are getting hammered, but now they're out of shots, and so the General's bodyguards are just going to go in there and make short work of that infantry there. At least cause them to retreat. That was veteran infantry, so that's a little bit costly for the British. Alright, over here, they're, looks like the infantry is just holding against them there. And here, the British aren't even regarding them. They're just like, screw you, we're not even going to look at you. If we just don't look at you, you don't even exist. The Austrians should be firing at them. It looks like everybody's just kind of looking at each other, as if their looks can kill. And it's all just pockets of soldiers now. Nobody is like really in a there's no solid line on either side. It's everybody just sort of fight where you are, and if there's an enemy, shoot them. And look at Austria. The Austrians are starting to pick away at the British over here. And they have actually caused, what is that unit? It's a line infantry unit to retreat. I guess they are in between. Oh, but now they are getting hit with artillery. Oh, man. I shouldn't say hit. The artillery, lucky for the Austrians, are getting, they're sort of in this valley, and those cannonballs are hitting the hill and bouncing up over. And they've chased away that infantry. However, there's coming back, and so they're going to form up a square again, although that's going to be really bad for that artillery. This is going to be bad for them with all that artillery coming in on them. And they're going to form up this line over on the flank of the British infantry. The Austrians still might pull this off, despite having lost all that artillery and lost in so many other places. Now you have the bodyguard that is being used as cavalry, and the infantry just sort of holding in the square just about everywhere, except for this one place where it's kind of like hammer and anvil type of situation. And the British infantry is all shaking, so it is really, wow, this is coming down to the wire. The Austrians are really holding them wherever they see them. And now, of course, you have the British over here. I think the biggest problem, there we go. This is the British horse artillery has found its way around to the flank of the Austrians. That is a very good use of horse artillery. Find your way to their flank. Oh, and they were just slicing up the flank of the Austrians there. Now the Austrians are going to form up and try to take out that artillery. They do not have the cavalry to go and get them, so the best thing they can do is just run in and get them. That's exactly right, because they can only shoot so many times per minute. So just, hold. In fact, actually, it looks like they're running a little bit to the right, which means that they're kind of obliquing over here to the right, which means that they're going to be British are going to get fewer shots unless they want to try to shoot through their horses. Their horses don't like that very much. Oh, there are a few Austrians really bit it right there, but now they're going to come around this corner, while meanwhile the Austrians have a line here, and they're getting just chopped up by that British that British infantry, musketeers there. Oh, these guys are pointed the wrong way. Well, the wrong way. Oh, there's some British over here. So, it's just like there is no front in this particular battle. And they're ganging up on this British line of infantry. So they're slowly taking them down, and the British here are slowly... although the Austrians now have come back, and they are scaring the British away, and these guys have gotten to the side of the British horse artillery, which really cannot shoot at them now without going after their own horses. So now they're going to come in at them, and they are going to finish this off. This is a really incredible battle. And you're about to lose the British horse artillery, which got into a really good position, but it's done its job, but now it's time to be done with and for the men to be chopped up. Actually, I'd just surrender in that particular situation, or I'd be getting on the horses and running out of there. But anyway, because they're really not going to be doing too much good right there. Alright, so now the Austrian infantry has regrouped. We're going to try to reform. Oh, what have we got over here? Oh, we have the British commander. It's run all the way around here. The few in his bodyguard that he has left, he's run behind the artillery. Did not want to go into all those spikes, and is now going in there and just going to chop them up. Oh, they lost one though. So they have 4 guys left? 4 individuals, not 4 units, 4 individuals left to try to take down the, the artillery. It looks like the commander himself has been killed, because the commander on both sides has now been killed. And oh, there's only 3 of them left, and they're getting ready to retreat. I don't think they're going to last very long, so that attack on their cavalry, or their artillery, did not work. There's 1 single guy left. Is he going to make it out of there, or is he going to be chopped down, or is he going to run in front of the artillery and get destroyed? He's going to run in front of the artillery. Oh, he cannot stop them. He cannot do anything about it. He's going to just march away, try to get in the way of their cannonballs. Meanwhile, you have these Austrian units are forming up. This is going to come down to the last man, I think. There's going to be just 1 guy left, two guys and 1 left on this battlefield, and they are going to be throwing poo at each other for supremacy. Look at all the dead there. My goodness. This has really been a bloody, bloody battle. Although there's no blood there, suspiciously. Alright. So, yeah, they're, This is actually a pretty better. Okay, guards. So you have the 2 stripes there. That means that they're real veterans. And so the British infantry is running away there. So what do they have left? Artillery, and artillery. What about? Oh, there we go. There's 1 British infantry left. 1 British infantry unit left. Line infantry. So the Austrians will have to deal with that, but right now it seems like they're kind of ignoring it and just marching straight up at those artillery pieces, and now getting hit by them. Ow. And that is a lot of people falling. It's so weird from up above. It just looks like ants falling. But, yep, and there we go. The Austrians just lost infantry. All they can do is march up at those guns, and, you know, when you have, and especially when you're marching uphill, you're getting exhausted easily, and there, this guy's getting mad. The guards are retreating. You only have, 1 left? 1 more unit of guards. And they are trying to march at that artillery. Oh, which is now getting lumbered. Oh no, it's not lumbered. And we've got 2 Austrian infantry. Got the British line infantry over there. And now this one is starting, if these guards are starting to falter, and of course if it's guards faltering, that's, you know, not good. In fact, the last one that ran were guards. But they're trying to resist the urge to run. They're trying to resist being thrown off this battlefield. They're running right in front of the artillery. I'm not sure where they're running to. Maybe they're chasing after these guys. Okay, so they're turning at these guns. They should have gone after the flank, but I guess they were trying to avoid these other guns. Now they're coming at them from the side. You know, these are set up really bad. They're behind their horses. Now they're going to come up after that long trek, their long treacherous trek, being shot at, and now they're going to come and take this artillery away. So yeah, their infantry's obviously going to be winning that. So what does that leave us with? We've got two Austrian infantry, 1 British infantry, which is inexplicably just sort of sitting out here. Maybe they just decided they'd take a tea break. It is tea break time, I suppose, so. So now we have a second wave of line infantry is coming up behind them. Now it's just a matter of, can they take these other guns out before getting too afraid to continue and running. Alright, 2 lines of Austrian infantry going after the British guns from somewhat of an angle. That was a good angle they were coming up with there, because they were just down the hill. The artillery shell flew over them. Oh, that is not a good angle. Someone would probably hit it right there. I like the 1 British infantry guy who's like running in front of them, like, oh goodness, goodness gracious, I want to get out of here. Oh, I'm with you guys. See, I'm in a white uniform too. I'm charging with you. Yeah, let's kill those suckers. Yeah. Don't shoot them down with the cannonball. And here they come. Oh, right in their faces. Ouch. Oh, this guy choking to death, and he falls into his own guy who's like killing somebody else, or knocking the British guy unconscious. I love these visuals in Total War. These are just amazing. It really, in so many ways, feels like you're actually watching the battle. Oh my goodness, they're even firing with all that. Oh, that one scared them away. Oh my god, I thought it was a crazy maneuver to fire that artillery piece right in the middle of the thing, but it actually worked. It was effective. It scared the Austrians away, and that was it. That was the end of it. Well, thank you all for watching. We really hope you enjoyed that one. That was one that really came down to the wire, but as you can see, the Austrians ultimately lost. But anyway, you can see more of our battles by continuing to watch and by subscribing here. So thank you for watching, and happy gaming, everybody.